You raise your right hand and swear an oath to Rome. You just became a legionary. Statistically, you have a decent shot at surviving this. That already makes you luckier than most soldiers in history. But decent odds do not mean easy ones. Rome will try to kill you in more ways than the enemy will. So how does the Roman army turn a farmer's son into one of history's deadliest soldiers? First, Rome has to decide if it even wants you. You need to be a citizen, generally between 17 and 46 years old. Roman writers describe a preferred height close to 5'10", though the standard bends when the army needs bodies. You get checked for missing teeth, since you will need them to tear open ration bags and bite through gear straps. You get checked for eyesight, missing fingers, and any old injury that could slow down a shield wall. Pass, and you sign on for 25 years. Yes, 25? That is longer than most careers today, except you cannot quit. And the job description includes getting stabbed. Training starts immediately, and it is built to break you down before it builds you up. Your first weapon is not even a real sword. It is a wooden post, and your enemy is a wicker dummy. Your training sword and shield weigh roughly twice what the real ones do. Rome wants your muscles ready before your life depends on it. Then comes the march, 20 Roman miles in under 5 hours, carrying everything you own. Historians call these soldiers Marius's mules because you carry your own supplies instead of relying on a baggage train. That pack holds your armor, rations, cooking pot, a shovel, stakes for camp fortification, and spare clothing. Total weight, over 40 pounds. Every single night, even after a full day of marching, you help dig and fortify an entire camp from nothing. Skip a task, show up late, or fall asleep on watch, and the punishments range from flogging to something much worse. Rome has a punishment called decimation. 1 in every 10 men in a unit, chosen by lot, executed by his own comrades. It is rare, saved for cowardice or mutiny on a mass scale, but every soldier knows the story, and that is the point. Survive training, and you finally get real gear. This is where your odds actually start to improve. Your main weapon is the gladius, a short stabbing sword built for close, brutal work inside a packed formation. Before that, you throw the pilum, a javelin designed so its soft iron shank bends on impact, so the enemy cannot throw it back. Your shield, the scutum, is curved to wrap around your body and heavy enough to shove a man off his feet. In formation, you fight shoulder to shoulder, shield locked with the man beside you, in a wall built to survive together or fall together. When things get desperate, you form the testudo, the tortoise, shields locked overhead and on every side. It can survive arrows, rocks, even a small cavalry charge, as long as nobody breaks formation. Now you are ready for your first real battle. Here is what actually kills legionaries most often, and it might surprise you. It is not the enemy blade. Historians estimate disease and infection killed more Roman soldiers across the centuries than combat wounds did. Camps packed with thousands of men, open latrines, and contaminated water made dysentery a constant companion. A cut that should heal in days can turn deadly in a camp with no real antiseptic beyond wine and vinegar. If you do face the enemy directly, who you are fighting changes everything about your odds. In 9 AD, 3 entire legions marched into the forests of Germania under a general named Varus. Germanic tribes, led by a former Roman ally who knew exactly how legions moved, ambushed them along a narrow forest track. Strung out for kilometers in terrain built for nobody's formation, over 20,000 soldiers were wiped out in days. Rome never fully recovered those legion numbers. It simply stopped trying to conquer that forest again. On the other side of the empire, a different kind of enemy waited in the deserts near Parthia. In 53 BC, a Roman army marched into open desert near Carrhae, chasing a retreating force that never actually retreated. Parthian horse archers circled the formation for hours, firing volley after volley, resupplied by a constant line of camels. Roman shields could block the arrows in front. They could not block arrows from every direction at once. Roughly 20,000 Romans died that day. Survivors called it one of the worst defeats in the Republic's history. So, terrain and enemy tactics matter as much as your own training. A forest or a desert can undo everything Rome taught you. Assuming you survive your battles, discipline inside the legion is its own daily threat to your well-being. Centurions carry a vinewood staff for exactly one reason: to beat soldiers who fall out of line, literally. Desertion or cowardice in battle can bring fustuarium, a sentence where your own unit beats you to death with clubs and stones. Rome figured out early that fear of your own side can be just as useful as fear of the enemy. But it is not only punishment. Pay, promotion, and loot give you real reasons to want to survive and climb the ranks. A basic legionary earns modest pay, but battlefield loot and land bonuses after major campaigns can genuinely change your life. Promotion to a rank like Optio or Centurion means more pay, more authority, and slightly better odds of not dying in the front row. So let's say you make it. You fight your battles, dodge disease, avoid your own Centurion staff, and reach retirement. After roughly 25 years of service, you receive an honorable discharge, and Rome actually delivers on its promise. You get full Roman citizenship if you did not already have it, a cash bonus, and sometimes a grant of farmland. It is Rome's way of saying, you served your 25 years, now go live the rest of your life somewhere quiet. So realistically, what are your odds of reaching that quiet ending? It depends entirely on when and where you serve. A posting on a quiet frontier is nothing like marching with Crassus into the desert. Historians studying Roman military records suggest most legionaries who avoided a catastrophic campaign had a real chance of reaching retirement, but get assigned to the wrong campaign, the wrong general, or the wrong forest, and your odds collapse instantly. That is the real story of Roman military service. Not a single battle, but 25 years of accumulated risk. Disease in camp, discipline from your own commanders, terrain that punishes bad planning, and eventually an enemy who wants you dead. Every single one of those threats had to miss you, over and over for 25 straight years, and somehow, across the centuries, enough men did survive that Rome built the most feared army the ancient world had ever seen. So if you had sworn that oath, trained through the beatings, marched the miles, and faced the forest or the desert, would you have made it? Let me know in the comments which ancient army you want covered next, and don't forget to subscribe.